My dad said my wedding would upset his favorite stepdaughter. Told me to delay it. That's the day I cut him off for good. You need to cancel your wedding. Those 6 words, delivered by my own father, landed like a punch to the gut. My wedding, the most important day of my life, was suddenly a disposable inconvenience, overshadowed by someone else's achievement. Hi, I'm Tessa, and this is the story of how my father chose my stepsister's party over my wedding day, and how that choice changed everything. But before we dive in, there's something you need to understand. My dad wasn't always like this. He used to be my hero. The man who taught me to ride my bike, who'd cheer the loudest at every single school play. He was my protector, my world. That man, that real father, vanished the day he married Diane. Let me take you back. My childhood, with my mom, my younger brother Matthew, and my dad, was something out of a movie. Suburban Atlanta, backyard barbecues, game nights, annual trips to the Outer Banks. We were just happy. Beautifully, simply happy. Then, the universe decided to test us. Mom got sick. Cancer. It was brutal, swift. 18 months from diagnosis to funeral. I was 14, Matthew just 12. Our world shattered. Dad, bless his heart, tried to hold us together. For 2 years, it was us 3 against the world, navigating life without our anchor. Then he met Diane. At a business conference. I was 16. And she was everything Mom wasn't. Mom was soft-spoken, gentle, a school librarian with the warmest smile. Diane? Loud, commanding, designer labels, too much perfume. Mom baked us homemade chocolate chip cookies. Diane ordered gluten-free organic everything. But Dad was lonely. And Diane was persistent. 6 months later, she moved into our house, bringing her 2 daughters, Elviana, my exact age, and Paige, 2 years younger. The shift was immediate. And it was brutal. Elviana. Oh, Elviana was perfect. Straight A's, captain of the debate team, volunteer coordinator at the Children's Hospital. Every single dinner conversation became the Elviana show. Her achievements, her future plans, her incredible potential. Matthew and I, we just faded into the background. Paige, quiet and creative, always sketching in her notebooks, disappeared even further into Elviana's shadow. My soccer trophies? Gone from the mantle, replaced by Elviana's academic awards. Dad's home office, where I used to do homework with him while he worked on blueprints, suddenly became Elviana's private study space. She needed absolute silence for her AP courses, you see. I was busting my butt, maintaining a 3.9 GPA, working 20 hours a week at a coffee shop, just trying to save for college. But all I ever heard from Dad was, "Tessa, why can't you be more like Elviana? More driven, more focused, more everything?" Matthew had it even worse. He went from Dad's fishing buddy to completely invisible. He started spending every weekend at friends' houses, anything to escape the constant Elviana worship. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared me for the true betrayal that came next. Senior year. That's when everything truly fell apart. I'd been saving for college since sophomore year, every paycheck, every birthday check, every single dollar went into my college fund. Dad had promised to match whatever I saved. That was our deal. Work hard, save money, and he'd help me get into a good school without crushing debt. By April, I had $15,000. With Dad's match, that was $30,000 towards tuition at the University of North Carolina, where I'd been accepted into their journalism program. I was so proud. I'd done it. I'd proved I was just as capable as perfect Elviana. Then Elviana got into Georgetown. Diane threw an absolute fit about the tuition. $60,000 a year. How are we supposed to afford this? She's worked so hard, we can't let finances hold her back. I should have seen it coming. Dad called me into his office one evening in May. "Tessa, we need to talk about your college fund." My stomach dropped. I knew, instantly. "Elviana's tuition at Georgetown is substantial," he continued, eyes avoiding mine. "And Diane is right. We can't let this opportunity pass. So, I'm going to need to borrow your savings. Just temporarily. We'll pay you back within 2 years. I promise." Borrow? My dad? The words felt like sandpaper in my throat. "Dad, that's my money. I earned every cent of that. And I'm proud of you," he said, his voice cold and flat. "But this is about family helping family. Elviana is going to Georgetown. You can go to Georgia State. It's more affordable. It's a perfectly good school. What about your match? You promised." I pleaded, my voice cracking. He looked away. "Plans change, Tessa. You're resourceful. You'll figure it out." He took everything. All $15,000 of my hard-earned savings. No match. No loan paperwork. Just gone. I ended up at Georgia State on a partial scholarship, working 2 jobs, one at a restaurant, another doing social media for local businesses. I was constantly exhausted, watching my GPA slip while trying to pay rent and buy textbooks. Meanwhile, Elviana got a brand new Audi. Not a used car. A brand new silver Audi A4 with a bow on top, parked in our driveway like a trophy. "Your father just wants to support excellence," Diane cooed to me when I came home for Thanksgiving. "Maybe if you'd pushed yourself harder, you'd have opportunities like Elviana." The bitterness was a constant ache. 3 years later, I graduated with honors, still working full-time. No car. No celebration. Dad and Diane were, of course, at Elviana's junior year award ceremony in Washington, D.C. I told myself things would get better after college. I was wrong. I landed a great job at a marketing agency in Atlanta, got my own apartment in Virginia Highland. I was finally building a real life for myself. And then, I met Nicholas. At a friend's rooftop party. He was this genuinely kind emergency room nurse who actually listened when I talked. He showed up to my work events. He made me feel valued, truly seen, for the first time in years. When Nicholas proposed after 2 years of dating, I was ecstatic. We planned a beautiful autumn wedding at a vineyard in the North Georgia mountains. Nothing extravagant, we were paying for it ourselves. But it was perfect for us. Intimate. Meaningful. Ours. I called Dad the day after Nicholas proposed. "That's wonderful, sweetie," he said, and for a fleeting moment, I heard real warmth in his voice. "When's the date?" "October 12th, I beamed. "The venue had a cancellation, so we got an amazing deal." "Perfect. I'll mark my calendar." "Do you need help with anything?" The question shocked me. "Really?" "Of course," he said, as if it were obvious. "You're my daughter. I'll cover the rehearsal dinner." For one shining, incredible moment, I had my father back. We sent invitations in June. Everything was falling into place. I found my dress at a boutique in Buckhead, simple, elegant, exactly what I wanted. Nicholas's mom, bless her heart, threw herself into helping, treating me like the daughter she'd never had. My best friend, Natalie, my maid of honor, was planning a bachelorette weekend in Charleston. For the first time in years, I felt genuinely, completely happy. Then August arrived. And everything shattered. "You need to cancel your wedding." Dad's words hung in the air of their expansive Buckhead house like poison. Diane sat beside him on their white leather couch, nodding along like a bobblehead. I just stopped by to drop off final numbers for the rehearsal dinner. Instead, I'd walked straight into an ambush. "I'm sorry, what?" I managed, my voice barely a whisper. Elviana just got her acceptance to Stanford Medical School, Diane chirped, her voice dripping with artificial pride. We're throwing her a celebration the weekend of October 12th. It's already planned. We've booked the Piedmont Driving Club. My mind reeled. My wedding is October 12th. You've known this for months. Well, you'll need to change it, Dad said, flatly, dismissively. Elviana's achievement is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Medical school at Stanford. Do you understand how prestigious that is? And my wedding isn't once in a lifetime? I asked, incredulous, my voice rising. You can get married anytime, Tessa. Don't be dramatic. The room spun. My father, the man who had just promised to walk me down the aisle, was telling me my wedding was dramatic. Dad, we've sent invitations. People have booked flights and hotels. The venue is paid for. Then you'll lose the deposit. Life happens. He actually shrugged. My own father shrugged. We're family. Elviana needs us there to celebrate this incredible achievement. Surely you can understand that. Diane leaned forward, her eyes narrowed. Honestly, Tessa, I'm surprised you're being so selfish about this. Elviana has worked incredibly hard. She's going to be a doctor. This party is important. My party is important. It's my wedding. Another wedding, Diane scoffed, waving a dismissive hand. People have weddings every day. How many people get into Stanford Medical School? The casual, breathtaking cruelty of it took my breath away. It felt like a physical blow. Dad, I tried again, my voice shaking, tears stinging my eyes. I've had this date for months. You offered to pay for the rehearsal dinner. You said you'd be there. And I will be, if you reschedule, he cut me off. But if you insist on this date, you're asking me to choose between you and Elviana's celebration. He looked me dead in the eye. The coldness was absolute. I'm choosing Elviana. The words landed like a slap, echoing in the deafening silence. She's achieved something remarkable, Dad continued, his voice hardening. She's making something of herself. This is what I mean about being driven, Tessa. Elviana sets goals and crushes them. You could learn something from her work ethic. I was working 2 jobs through college because you stole my money. The scream was trapped in my throat, but Diane was already talking again. We've already sent out save the dates for Elviana's party. The governor's office confirmed attendance. The dean of Stanford Medical School is flying in. This is a major event. You sent save the dates after you knew about my wedding. I blurted, the injustice burning. We assumed you'd be reasonable, Diane said coldly. I looked at my father. The man who taught me to ride a bike. Who'd held me when Mom died. Who'd promised to always be there for me. The man who had just told me to cancel my wedding for a party. By the way, if you're still reeling from that, make sure to hit subscribe. More unbelievable stories and moments of triumph are always coming. Now, back to how I responded to that ultimate betrayal. No, I said, quietly but firmly. Dad's head snapped up. What? No. I'm not canceling my wedding. October 12th is my day. It's been my day for months. If you choose not to come, that's your choice. His face hardened, turning into a mask of cold fury. Don't be stupid, Tessa. You're throwing away your family over stubbornness. I'm not throwing anything away, I countered, my voice stronger than I expected. You are. I walked out before they could see the tears finally stream down my face. Nicholas was waiting in the car. The moment I got in, I completely broke down. They want me to cancel the wedding, I sobbed. For Elviana. For a party for Elviana. Nicholas's jaw clenched, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. They can't be serious. They're completely serious. Dad said he's choosing Elviana over me. Then we proceed exactly as planned, Nicholas said, his voice firm, taking my hand. His grip was a lifeline. This is our day, Tessa. Not theirs, not Elviana's. Ours. The calls started immediately. Dad phoned the next morning. I've thought about it, and here's my compromise. Attend Elviana's party, and I'll come to your wedding. There at the same time, Dad. Leave your reception at 7:30. Elviana's party starts at 8. You can make it. You want me to leave my own wedding reception to go to a party? The absurdity was staggering. It's called being flexible, Tessa. Elviana's party is at the Piedmont Driving Club. It's 20 minutes from your venue. You could easily, no. Absolutely not. Then I guess I won't be walking you down the aisle. He hung up. Just like that. Diane started next, calling from different numbers when I stopped answering. Her messages ranged from manipulative guilt-tripping to outright hostile. You're tearing this family apart over your ego, one hissed. Elviana has done nothing but excel her entire life, and you can't let her have one special day. Then, the cruelest blow, your mother would be ashamed of how selfish you've become. That one made me throw my phone across the room. But the worst was when they went after my vendors. My florist called, confused. Tessa, I got a call from a Diane Henderson saying the wedding is cancelled. She said there was a death in the family. I'm so sorry for your loss. There's no death, I explained, my voice tight with rage. The wedding is still on. My stepmother is lying. Oh. Oh my God. Should I be worried about payment? Everything will be paid as scheduled. Please don't take any more calls from her. My photographer got a similar call. So did my caterer. Diane was systematically trying to dismantle my wedding from the outside, using lies and manipulation. This is harassment, Natalie said when I told her. Like, actual criminal harassment. What am I supposed to do? Call the police on my stepmother? The thought felt unhinged. The real shock, though, came from unexpected places. My Aunt Margaret, Mom's older sister, who'd been distant since Dad remarried, called out of the blue. I heard what they're asking you to do, she said, her voice filled with a familiar, comforting warmth. Your mother would be horrified. Count me in for the wedding, sweetheart. And don't worry about the rehearsal dinner. I'll cover it. Your mom would want that. I burst into tears. Aunt Margaret, you don't have to. Yes, I do, she interrupted gently. Someone needs to show you what family actually looks like. Matthew, who'd moved to Colorado after college to escape the family drama, called next. I'm flying in, he said, without preamble. Wouldn't miss it. Team Tessa all the way. And for the record, I've been waiting for you to finally stand up to them. Even Paige reached out via text. This is messed up, even for them. I'll be at your wedding. Elviana doesn't need another party. She needs therapy. The battle lines were drawn. Dad, Diane, and Elviana on one side. Everyone else, the people who actually cared, on the other. But they still had ammunition. 2 weeks before the wedding, Elviana herself called. Tessa, I really hope you'll reconsider, she said in that fake sweet voice she used when she wanted something. It would mean so much to have the whole family there to celebrate with me. This is such a huge achievement. Elviana, I've had this date for months. But people have already RSVP'd to my party. The governor's office confirmed. This is a really big deal. My wedding is a big deal to me. Right. But this is medical school. Stanford Medical School. Surely you can see how this is more important. The casual dismissal of my entire wedding as less important than her party was stunning. More important to who? I shot back. To everyone. I mean, it's Stanford. It's medicine. It's obviously more significant than a wedding. I'm hanging up now. Wait. Don't you care about being part of this family? I care about people who actually treat me like family. You're not on that list anymore. I blocked her number. The Whisper campaign started immediately. Extended family members I hadn't heard from in years suddenly called, having heard both sides from Diane. According to their version, I was jealous of Elviana's success and had deliberately scheduled my wedding to overshadow her achievement. Never mind that invitations went out in June and her acceptance came in August. Some relatives bought it. Others didn't. Your cousin Rita called me, Aunt Margaret reported, said I should talk sense into you. I told her exactly where she could shove her opinion. The family was fracturing, and honestly, I was okay with that. I'd rather have 10 people who genuinely loved me than 100 who thought I should perpetually take second place. Here's where the story takes a turn, though. Remember how I mentioned I work in marketing? Well, my specialty is social media management and digital strategy. I understand analytics, reach, engagement, and privacy settings. Diane, bless her heart, did not understand privacy settings. She'd been posting constantly about Elviana's Stanford acceptance. Humble brags disguised as proud mom moments. So grateful for this incredible opportunity, with photos of Elviana in Stanford gear. Dreams really do come true with hard work, with screenshots of the acceptance letter. But she'd also been posting other things. Photos from their recent trip to the Bahamas. Much-needed family vacation. The resort looked expensive. Very, very expensive. Pictures of Elviana's new MacBook Pro. Every medical student needs the right tools. $3,200 well spent. A spa day at the Ritz-Carlton. Elviana needed to de-stress before her big journey. Best mother-daughter day ever. All of this posted publicly. All of it time-stamped. All of it very much contradicting the story they'd told about needing my college fund money. I started screenshotting everything. Not for revenge. Just for receipts. Then Natalie, my paralegal maid of honor, noticed something interesting. Tessa, did you know your stepmother started a GoFundMe? What? Natalie showed me her phone. There it was. Help Elviana achieve her Stanford dreams. The description made my blood boil. Our brilliant daughter, Elviana, has been accepted to Stanford Medical School, a dream come true. Unfortunately, medical school costs are overwhelming for our middle-class family. We're struggling to make ends meet while ensuring Elviana gets the education she deserves. Every dollar helps. Any contribution, no matter how small, brings us closer to making her dreams a reality. We're so grateful for your support during this challenging time. Middle class? Dad's construction company was worth millions. Challenging time? They'd just gotten back from the Bahamas. Look at the donations, Natalie said. They'd raised $12,000 in 3 weeks. Neighbors, Dad's business associates, people from their church, all contributing to help struggling Elviana afford medical school, while they spent my college fund money on vacations and luxury goods. This is fraud, Natalie said flatly. Like, textbook fraud. They're misrepresenting their financial situation to solicit donations. I didn't want to get involved. I was trying to focus on my wedding, on my future with Nicholas, on moving forward. But Natalie had other ideas. I'm not letting them get away with this, she declared. They stole from you. Now they're stealing from everyone else. Natalie, you don't have to do anything, but I'm sending these screenshots to every single person who donated. And she did. Anonymously, from a burner email address. Natalie sent a comprehensive package to every GoFundMe donor. The Bahamas vacation photos, the $3,200 laptop receipt, the spa day pictures, the country club membership renewal that Diane had proudly posted about, screenshots of their expensive home, their luxury cars, their lifestyle that screamed wealthy, not struggling. The subject line was simple: where your donation really went. The backlash was immediate and brutal. Donors started demanding refunds. Comments flooded the GoFundMe page. Someone reported it to the platform for fraud. Within 48 hours, the campaign was shut down and under investigation. But I didn't know any of this was happening. I was in the final week before my wedding, dealing with last-minute details, trying to process the fact that my father wasn't going to be there. I was focused on starting my marriage on a foundation of joy, not bitterness. Meanwhile, karma was working overtime. Someone, we never found out who, sent the GoFundMe screenshots to Stanford's financial aid office. Medical schools take financial fraud very seriously, especially when it involves incoming students and misrepresented family finances. Elviana's acceptance was put under review. Dad hired lawyers. Diane deleted her social media accounts, but it was too late. Elviana posted a tearful video claiming they'd been misunderstood, that family members were jealously sabotaging her success. The video got ratioed into oblivion. My phone started blowing up with texts from extended family members. Did you see what's happening? Your dad and Diane are in serious trouble. Elviana might lose her Stanford spot. I turned my phone off and focused on what mattered, marrying the love of my life. October 12th dawned absolutely perfect. Crisp autumn air, brilliant blue sky, the North Georgia mountains painted in shades of gold and crimson. The vineyard looked like something from a dream. Rows of grapevines stretching into the distance. The old barn decorated with fairy lights and white flowers. I got ready, surrounded by people who actually loved me. Nat. Allie, crying happy tears while helping me into my dress. Aunt Margaret fixing my veil, telling me I looked exactly like Mom on her wedding day. Paige, who'd driven up from Athens despite the family drama, taking photos, telling me I was the most beautiful bride she'd ever seen. Matthew knocked on the door at 2:45. Ready, sis? Aunt Margaret was supposed to walk me down the aisle. We'd planned that after Dad's ultimatum. But Matthew had other ideas. Mom would want us both to do it, he said, his eyes shining. One on each side. The two people who actually watched you grow up. I ugly cried for 5 minutes, completely ruining my makeup. Natalie, bless her, fixed everything. The ceremony was perfect. Aunt Margaret and Matthew walked me down the aisle while Canon and Dee played on strings. Nicholas, standing at the altar in his navy suit, had tears streaming down his face. His parents, his 3 brothers, his huge extended family, all there, all beaming, all celebrating us. My real family was there. The people who'd shown up. Who'd chosen me. Who'd stood by me. The people who mattered. Matthew gave a speech during the reception that had everyone in tears. My sister Tessa has always been my hero, he said, his voice thick with emotion. After Mom died, she held our family together. She made sure I did my homework, came to my baseball games, taught me how to do laundry when Dad was too grief-stricken to function. She's the strongest person I know, and she deserves every happiness. Nicholas, you're the luckiest guy alive. Welcome to the family, the real family. Paige sat at a table, sketching the ceremony, filling her notebook with beautiful drawings, because she knew I'd want to remember every detail. She gave me the notebook later as a gift. I've kept every single page. Nicholas's mom pulled me aside during dinner. I'm so sorry your father is missing this, she said, hugging me tight. But honey, it's his loss. You're the kind of daughter any parent would be blessed to have. Welcome to our family, Tessa. We're never letting you go. The reception was everything I dreamed of. Dancing, laughter, pure joy. Not the performative kind that permeated every event at Dad and Diane's house. Around 7:30, Natalie pulled me aside, grinning. "Don't check your phone," she whispered. "But I thought you should know. Elviana's party isn't going quite as planned." The gossip came in waves throughout the night. Half their guest list hadn't shown up. Those who did come were apparently there for the drama, not the celebration. A reporter from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution had shown up, asking for statements about the GoFundMe fraud allegations. The governor's office had quietly pulled their RSVP. Someone from the IRS had apparently contacted Dad's office about tax implications of the fraudulent fundraising. Diane had a complete meltdown in the Piedmont Driving Club bathroom. Elviana spent most of her own party crying in the coat room. But I didn't care about any of that. Not really. I was too busy dancing with my husband, celebrating with people who genuinely loved me, starting the best chapter of my life. We left the reception around 11, honking our way to a hotel before our flight to Italy the next morning. As we drove away, I saw my phone had 67 missed calls and over 100 texts. I turned it off without reading any of them. "No regrets?" Nicholas asked, taking my hand, his thumb tracing patterns on my skin. "Not a single one," I said honestly. And I meant it. We spent 2 weeks in Tuscany, drinking wine, eating incredible food, and completely ignoring the explosion happening back home. Paige kept me updated via email, though I'd asked her not to. "You should see the fallout," she wrote. Dad hired 3 different lawyers. Diane's banned from Facebook and Instagram for harassment. Apparently, she tried to blame you for orchestrating everything. Elviana's Stanford acceptance is under formal review. The IRS is investigating. It's poetic justice. When Nicholas and I got back to Atlanta, the chaos was still unfolding. Dad called within an hour of U.S. landing. "Tessa, I need you to make a statement that you weren't involved in this GoFundMe situation." "Hello to you, too, Dad. This isn't a joke. We could face criminal charges. You need to tell the investigators you weren't involved." "I wasn't involved. I was getting married. Remember the wedding you skipped? Don't start with that again. Someone orchestrated this vindictive campaign against us. Your friend Natalie is a paralegal, she has access to Dad. I was on my honeymoon. Whatever happened is your own doing. If Natalie recognized fraud when she saw it, that's not my fault or my problem. We're family, Tessa. You need to help us." The word family coming from his mouth, after everything, made me laugh. Actually laugh. "No, Dad," I said, my voice ice cold. "You made it crystal clear I'm not family when you chose Elviana's party over my wedding. When you stole my college fund. When you demanded I cancel the most important day of my life. Family shows up. You didn't. Your mother would be disappointed in you," he roared, his voice cracking. "Mom would be horrified by what you've become," I countered, the years of pain finally finding their voice. "Don't ever call me again." I hung up and blocked his number. The investigation took 4 months. In the end, Diane got 6 months of probation and had to pay back every cent of the GoFundMe money. Dad's construction company lost 2 major contracts. Clients didn't want to be associated with fraud allegations. His reputation in Atlanta's business community was destroyed. Elviana lost her Stanford spot entirely. The school released a diplomatic statement about misrepresented financial circumstances and ethical concerns. She ended up attending Georgia State's medical program, the same state school Dad had told me was good enough for me. I heard through the grapevine that she blamed me for everything. Apparently, she told anyone who'd listen that I was jealous of her success and had sabotaged her future out of spite. The irony was delicious, but the best revenge? Living well. Nicholas and I bought a house in Decatur. I got promoted to senior marketing director with a significant raise. We started hosting Sunday dinners with Aunt Margaret, game nights with Matthew, and art shows for Paige, who'd finally found her voice outside Elviana's shadow. She's thriving now, got into SCAD for illustration, has a growing freelance business. Actually smiles when you see her. Dad tried reaching out periodically. First demanding, then pleading, then angry, then pathetic. We need to talk about what you've done to this family. I'm still your father. You owe me respect. I miss you, sweetheart. Can we please talk? You've destroyed everything. I hope you're happy. I never responded. Not once. Diane sent one letter. 3 pages of single-space text about how I'd destroyed their lives, ruined Elviana's future, and torn apart the family. She accused me of being vindictive, jealous, selfish, and cruel. I framed it and hung it in my